Here you go.
Yes. So, welcome everybody to our second episode of ESO News Live. So our aim really is to be an informative and inclusive podcast, an interactive podcast as well, in two different languages. For those of you that don't know, I'm Nikki, and I'm going to be taking care of the English part.
Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue pour ce nouvel épisode de ESO News. C'est un podcast interactif, inclusif et informatif. Et nous espérons que les petits changements que nous avons faits vous plairont. Alors, si vous ne me connaissez pas, je suis Eloa et je m'occuperai de la partie francophone.
So this show is going to be divided into three main parts. We're going to have the news, which will include official and community news. The question and answer section. So please, if you have any questions, get them prepared. In those two parts, we're going to alternate the English and the French. And finally, the discussion, where Aloha and myself are going to discuss a subject related to the news. And of course, we invite you to participate. We also invite you to join us in the game during our stream. We're on the beach here in Oregon. So if you can find us or make your way to us, that would be very nice. Come say hi.
Voilà, alors ce show est préparé en trois parties. Vous avez premièrement la partie des nouvelles, où nous vous donnons les dernières nouvelles sur The Elder Scrolls Online, y compris les nouvelles officielles et les nouvelles de la communauté. Ensuite, il y a la partie questions-réponses, donc préparez vos questions et nous efforcerons d'y répondre le mieux possible. Et ces deux parties-là sont en français et en anglais. On essaye de les intercaler le plus vite possible, comme ça personne ne s'ennuie. Et puis il y a la discussion, c'est un débat entre Nikki et moi et vous, qui se passera sur un des sujets des nouvelles. Mais là, cette partie-là ne sera qu'en anglais, bien sûr. Donc si ça ne vous intéresse pas, eh bien vous pouvez vous arrêter là. Ensuite, nous vous invitons également à nous rejoindre en jeu si vous avez envie. On va simplement se balader dans Oridia. Donc rejoignez-nous.
So we did receive a lot of feedback related to the show from the last one that we did, and we were very encouraged by the interest and the nice comments that we had. Among those, some of you said that you use the show to practice your French or English, whichever it may be, and we're glad if that's really useful to you. But we still really do need feedback, so please let us know after this episode what you think, or if you can suggest any improvements, that would also be appreciated.
Voilà, nous avons écouté votre retour et merci beaucoup pour vos commentaires. Nous avons fait quelques petits changements et nous espérons que ça va vous plaire. Donc, ce qui était très touchant, c'est de savoir que beaucoup d'entre vous utilisent ce show pour parfaire leur apprentissage de l'anglais ou du français. Donc, si on pouvait vous offrir quelque chose d'utile, ça nous fait vraiment très plaisir. Mais il y a toujours des choses à améliorer, donc n'hésitez pas à continuer à nous donner votre retour. Merci beaucoup.
So, on to the first section, which is going to be the news. So, the big things to talk about right now are the two new DLCs, which are being released later this year. The first one is going to be a dungeon pack, which includes two brand new dungeons. They're Nord-themed dungeons. The first one is going to be called Horn of the Reach. The DLC is called Horn of the Reach. The first dungeon is going to be called Falkreath Hold. Now, for those of you that played Skyrim, you may remember the little town of Falkreath. So you're going to have a dungeon base there, which is under attack by the Reachmen. The second dungeon is called Bloodroot Forge, and I think it's safe to assume that that's also going to be, based on the Reach or the Reachmen. They'll all include, both of them will include normal and veteran with hard mode. And they will also come with new achievements and new monster masks. It's also going to include a free base game update, which will include a new battleground map, which is Arcane University, and a new game mode called Chaos Ball. As well as this, there'll also be new homes, furnishings, and cosmetic items. They are also adding a colorblind mode and combat keys that can be customized. The second dungeon, or the second DLC, I should say, is going to be Clockwork City, which is due for release in December. It's a new story that does not require Morrowind. It's going to provide about 10 hours of content. and a mini trial for veteran players, something which is new and hasn't been done in the game before. We're expecting a small zone, something along the lines of the Dark Brotherhood or Thieves Guild, with the storyline quests. Both of those DLCs are going to be included in an ESO Plus subscription.
Voilà, alors tout d'abord, nous allons commencer par les nouvelles et on va parler des 2 nouveaux DLC qui seront sortis au mois d'août, qui sont prévus pour le mois d'août et pour le mois de décembre. Alors tout d'abord, on va parler de Horn of the Reach, qui est un DLC avec 2 nouveaux donjons en mode vétéran et en mode normal. Ces 2 donjons se passent dans Bord de Ciel et ce sont des histoires sur les crevassets. Alors, le premier donjon sera la forteresse d'Épervine et le second, la forge de Sans Racine. Vous pouvez vous attendre à avoir de nouveaux sets d'armure et de nouveaux masques de monstres, ainsi que des achievements, etc. Alors, il y aura aussi, en plus de cela, une mise à jour gratuite, accessible à tout le monde, qui comprend un nouveau champ de bataille, l'université des arcanes, l'université arcanique et un nouveau mode, le Chaos Ball. Alors pour pouvoir participer au champ de bataille, il faut bien sûr posséder l'expansion ou le chapitre Morrowind. Il y aura aussi des améliorations comme un mode pour les daltoniens ainsi que de nouvelles maisons, des meubles et des événements saisonniers. Le deuxième DLC, c'est Clockwork City. Il s'agira d'une nouvelle histoire et d'une nouvelle zone. Il contient à peu près 10 heures de jeu. Et il y aura aussi une mini-épreuve pour joueurs vétérans qui comprendrait de nouvelles choses. Ce serait absolument nouveau et différent des autres épreuves. Donc on s'attend à avoir plus d'informations bientôt pour savoir de quoi il s'agira. Voilà, alors pour le DLC Clockwork City, vous n'avez pas besoin d'avoir le chapitre de Morrowind. Voilà, ça c'était ça. Hop. Here we go. It's your turn.
Okay. So the next piece of news information, it's the new season for crown crates. So we now have the dwarven crown crates. They are available. We wanted to, just in case you weren't familiar with the crown crate system, we're going to give you a brief overview of how it works. So essentially crown crates are purchased with real money. You have to buy crowns with real money, which you can then convert or use them to buy crown crates. You can buy them in varying pack sizes, and obviously the more you buy, the slightly cheaper they are. It is essentially a form of gambling, and you can be rewarded with various items from mounts to pets to cosmetics or consumables. There is also an extraction process built in. So if, for example, you get an item that you don't want or you already have one of them, you can deconstruct them in a way to receive gems. And those gems can be purchased to buy rewards outright, but they can be kind of expensive. So with this new season of Dwarven Crown Crates, we're getting 6 new Apex mounts on the Dwarven theme. They're kind of a clockwork mechanical mounts. There is also 3 very rare ones which are only available via crates. You cannot purchase them with gems. There's some clavicus file tapestries and statues, and there's many cosmetic costumes, hairstyles and accessories such as the goggles or monocles. It also features something that's kind of new, really. It's a hidden item system. So there's items that you can get that haven't been advertised anywhere. Things like gold and glowing sweet rolls. There's also some changes. At least we believe this is kind of speculation because it hasn't been confirmed by ZeniMax. But we believe, given how many people we've seen, buy these crown crates and they've been rewarded with like epic mounts or that kind of thing, we feel that there's been some kind of change to the RNG system. We don't know how they've done it, or indeed if they've actually done it, but we're seeing lots more people get the mounts than we had previously with the crown crates. They've also started including motif books in the crown crates, which is a new addition. But as I say, all of this at the moment is kind of speculation.
Ok. Donc voilà, le deuxième sujet, il s'agit des nouvelles boîtes à couronne du thème Dwemer, donc les nain de Elder Scrolls. Alors, si vous ne connaissez pas le système des boîtes à couronnes, il s'agit de boîtes que vous pouvez acheter pour des couronnes. Vous avez plusieurs prix pour plusieurs paquets. Plus vous en achetez, moins c'est cher, bien entendu. Et dans ces boîtes, vous avez une série de récompenses aléatoires. Alors, vous avez des récompenses de différentes qualités. Vous avez évidemment les choses qui sont très très rares et précieuses et ce qu'il y a de plus commun. Par exemple, vous avez des montures qui sont très rares. Vous aurez aussi beaucoup de genres potions, nourriture, boissons, etc. Toutes ces choses-là, vous pouvez ensuite les échanger, si elles ne vous plaisent pas, contre des gemmes. Et avec ces gemmes, vous pouvez accéder à une boutique spéciale, qui est la boutique des caisses à couronnes, et vous pouvez acheter des choses qui vous plaisent davantage. Alors, évidemment, le petit problème avec ces caisses à couronnes, c'est qu'il s'agit de parier et vous avez de la chance ou vous n'en avez pas, donc tout dépend de si vous êtes chanceux ou pas. Dans cette série-ci, vous aurez, évidemment, tout est thématique autour des dwemer, donc vous aurez 6 montures rares de look dwemer, comme celle-ci, voilà, par exemple. Mais vous avez également des animaux de compagnie, des costumes, des chapeaux, des maquillages. Vous avez aussi la statue et une tapisserie de Cavicusville. Vous avez toutes sortes de coiffures, d'accessoires, comme le monocle ou les lunettes d'ingénieur. Mais vous avez aussi des items cachés, le pain, le petit pain d'or. Alors ces items cachés, c'est une nouveauté. Depuis cette saison-ci, ils ont rajouté 3 montures exclusives et très très rares que vous pouvez obtenir que par les caisses et que vous ne pouvez pas acheter avec vos gemmes, ainsi que cet item caché dont on a parlé, mais aussi les motifs. Ensuite, le RNJ a changé puisque y a beaucoup de gens qui obtiennent plus facilement des montures, vous obtiendrez plus facilement des pets ou des choses qui ne vous intéressent pas trop. Mais il y a aussi beaucoup plus de choix dans les récompenses de bas niveau, ce qui fait que vous avez moins de chances d'obtenir le même item 2 fois et de pouvoir l'échanger contre des gemmes. Je ne sais pas si je me fais bien comprendre, mais il y a quelque chose d'un petit peu bizarre et la communauté n'est pas super contente de ces changements. Voilà.
Okay, guys, so last time we went over the patch notes in probably a bit more detail than we should have. So we've decided to trim that back a little bit. So we're going to give you just the main things that have changed over the past 2 weeks when it comes to the patch notes. And they are very concise. There's 3 big things as far as we're concerned. One of them is the group finder. So there was some fixes deployed today for the various group finder issues that they had with Battlegrounds since the Morrowind release. We haven't actually had a chance to test them yet. Maybe you guys have, but we hope that it's been fixed this time around. For any of you that have been running the new Halls of Fabrication trial, there has been some minor tweaks to the mechanics and the boss combat. I think they reverted some changes that they made previously. And one of the interesting things that I noticed in there, and this might only be specific to Vardenfell, is the monster respawns. The respawn rate of these monsters is now directly correlated to the amount of players in the area. So the more players there are, the quicker they respawn, which is kind of cool, I think. I'm not sure if it's a new thing, but it's certainly new to me.
Donc, les notes de version, comme... pardon, excusez-moi, il faut que je retrouve ma page. Voilà. Les notes de version, il y a plusieurs changements. Alors, premièrement, la recherche de groupe, c'est enfin réglé. Enfin, il paraît. Parce que la recherche de groupe pour les champs de bataille était absolument catastrophique à la sortie de Morrowind. Vous avez certainement expérimenté des situations très très frustrantes. Personnellement, j'ai abandonné d'essayer de rentrer dans un champ de bataille. Mais aujourd'hui, ça devrait être résolu. Alors, on n'a pas eu l'occasion de le tester pour voir si c'était vrai. Mais peut-être que vous l'avez fait. Ensuite, il y a des petits changements dans l'épreuve, les chambres de la fabrication, différents changements mineurs sur différentes mécaniques de boss. Et puis, la dernière petite note importante, c'est le changement au niveau de la repopulation des monstres dans Vardenfell. Maintenant, il s'adapte au nombre de joueurs qui jouent dans la zone. Voilà, it's your turn.
Thank you. So another topic that we wanted to cover, some of you may have been present during the ESO Live that was held last Friday. We just wanted to cover some of the things that they talked about. So the main interview, if you like, during the show last week was with, I hope I pronounced this right, Becky Ichnowski. I don't know if I got that right. She's the person who recruits and writes scripts for all the voice actors within the game. One of the interesting pieces of information that they released was that there's currently over 70 voice actors being used to create all of the voices that you hear within ESO, which I thought was really interesting. It's actually, if you're into that kind of thing, it's still up on Twitch. You can check their past VODs. It's really good to look at. The second part of the ESO Live was random duels with the lead UI designer, Bobby Weir. Now, we're not super into PvP, so it's not something that we were super interested in, but if you like duels and you like PvP, it was kind of fun to watch as well.
Yep. Donc, si vous avez eu l'occasion de regarder le ESO Live, ou si vous n'avez pas eu l'occasion de le regarder, voici un petit résumé rapidement. Alors, ce qui était intéressant, c'était de voir Becky Ichnowski qui s'occupe de tout ce qui concerne les acteurs qui font les voix dans The Elder Scrolls Online, y compris le casting des autres langues. Mais dans les voix anglophones, en tout cas, il y a 70 acteurs qui jouent les différentes voix. Elle a donné différentes explications, différentes petites anecdotes par rapport à ses acteurs préférés, etc. et la façon dont elle travaillait. Et ce qui était intéressant, c'est de savoir que les voix nordiques et les voix argoniennes sont les plus difficiles et que n'importe quel acteur ne peut pas jouer ces rôles-là. Ensuite, la deuxième partie de ESO Live, vous aviez une petite interview de Blob ESO, qui est un joueur PVP américain, je pense. Et puis, il y avait des duels avec Bobby Ware, qui est le lead UI designer. Et Bobby Ware a déclaré qu'il pouvait battre tout le monde. Et en effet, de nombreux joueurs sont venus le provoquer en duel et aucun d'eux n'a réussi à le battre.
So, if anybody who watched our ESO news 2 weeks ago, we announced that that ZeniMax had brought back the Battle Masters Corner. So featured this week, we've got a build, the Zookeeper build, which is a pet build that combines one hand and shield and bow. It's primarily a PvP-based build, but if you're interested in checking that out, that is also on the Elder Scrolls website.
Donc, le coin de... Non, ça s'appelle la Gazette du Sergent Instructeur est réapparue sur The Elder Scrolls Online, le site officiel. C'était un forum... non, pardon. C'était un post qui avait beaucoup de succès autrefois et puis il l'avait abandonné pendant plusieurs années. Mais voilà, c'est de retour. Alors, la première bulle que nous avons s'appelle le Guardian Zoo. C'est une bulle Warden, ou Gardien, qui est fait plutôt pour Cyrodiil. Mais il est aussi tout à fait capable dans les autres situations. S'utilise comme arme bouclier et épée et arme à deux mains et s'investit principalement sur la ligne de compétences les animaux compagnons, les compagnons animaliers. Peu importe, vous m'avez comprise. Si cette bulle vous intéresse, allez la regarder. Il y a aussi des vidéos qui sont liées puisque ce joueur fait aussi une chaîne YouTube.
We would like to also draw your attention to another great article that's on the Elder Scrolls website, which is a really good Q&A article with the Morrowind soundtrack composer, Brad Derrick. The whole soundtrack can be purchased on Spotify, iTunes, Google, and Amazon. But there's a great article, and we really recommend that you go check that out on their website.
Alors, la dernière chose dont on avait envie de vous parler, c'est d'un article qui parle de la musique de la bande originale de Elder Scrolls Online. Un grand nombre de joueurs sont absolument fans de cette musique. Elle est composée par Brad Derrick, qui s'inspire des musiques composées par Jeremy Soule, qui les a créées pour Morrowind 3, pour le Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind, etc., Skyrim et Oblivion. Et il explique dans cet article la façon dont il se prend pour travailler, quels sont les défis, qu'est-ce qu'il doit faire, qu'est-ce qu'il doit gérer et comment il tire son inspiration. Et c'est très intéressant de le voir. Alors à savoir aussi que la musique est maintenant disponible sur Spotify, iTunes, Amazon et Google. Voilà, donc si vous avez envie de la télécharger, je pense que, ou de l'acheter, vous pouvez. Je n'ai pas essayé moi-même, donc je ne sais pas s'il faut la payer. J'imagine que oui. Voilà, et c'est tout pour les nouvelles officielles.
Excellent. So now on to community news. So it's just a few tips and a few things that have happened in the community. Firstly, I'd like to direct your attention to to a new players or beginners tips guide that was created by Tian Lin. For anybody that's new to the game, it's a really well written, although it's a video guide. Please, if you want to check it out, I've pasted the link in the Twitch chat there. You can go and have a look. Also, if anybody's looking to join any ESO communities on Discord, I've got 2 invites here, which you're welcome to use as well. The first one is going to be the Elder Scrolls International Discord, which is run by Medallion, I believe, Medallion. And then secondly, we've got the Reddit one, which again, both of them have tons of players on there. If you're looking for an ESO Discord community, please check those out.
Alors, en ce qui me concerne, pour les nouvelles de la communauté, j'aimerais vous faire part d'un tutoriel que vous trouvez sur jeuxvideo.com qui a été écrit par Roy Jade. C'est un tutoriel comment créer un bon build ou un build viable. Ça a été mis à jour pour le chapitre Morrowind. Vous y trouverez toutes les étapes pour construire vous-même votre build. J'ai trouvé ça très intéressant puisque la plupart des tutoriels, c'est voilà la meilleure build PVP en lame noire, voici la meilleure build pour les épreuves en sorcier, Tandis qu'ici, ça vous incite à réfléchir à créer votre build tout en comprenant les mécaniques, comment faire pour que ça fonctionne et que ce ne soit pas une build complètement ratée. Ensuite, il y a aussi un Discord francophone. Si vous n'êtes pas au courant, ce Discord francophone est créé et modéré par Naibis et Katou. Et c'est une très chouette communauté avec beaucoup d'aide et la possibilité de vous investir dans la communauté. Si vous aimez bien la communauté internationale, Nikki a juste parlé de 2 Discords anglophones, qui est le Discord de Reddit et le Discord international. Donc vous avez les liens dans le chat. Moi, je vais mettre mes liens après. Voilà, c'est tout pour les nouvelles. Maintenant, on va passer à la section questions-réponses.
Yes, so if you have any questions for us, it doesn't necessarily have to be ESO related. I guess it could be unrelated to that, but ESO would probably be better.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so during that time, I will take the chance to just link my 2 articles, if I find them again.
Of course.
Je vais en profiter pour vous trouver les liens de ce dont j'ai parlé, et puis pour lire le chat, si j'ai pas eu l'occasion.
Hey, Benevolent, how you doing?
Donc voilà le premier article en question. Et puis je vais vous lier le Discord. Je passe. Voilà. Et donc, si vous avez envie de nous rejoindre, nous sommes ici et on se balade. Donc, vous pouvez. C'était difficile de se balader pendant qu'on disait les nouvelles. It was difficult to walk around when we were speaking.
Yeah. So we've had a couple of questions in. So the first one that I noticed was from Riolo. Are there going to be any new motifs with the DLCs? Now, as far as I'm aware, we haven't had that confirmed. I've been scouring the internet for information on the DLCs today, but I would be very surprised if there aren't. I would fully expect to see a Reachman motif, assuming we haven't got one already. It's hard to keep up with them these days. But yeah, I would fully expect that there'll be at least a couple of new motifs with the DLC.
Donc je vais traduire ça, c'est une question intéressante de Weolo. Il demande s'il y aura des nouveaux motifs avec le nouveau DLC qui arrivera au mois d'août. Et en fait, on n'en a aucune idée, mais ça paraît assez évident qu'il devrait y avoir un motif des crevassets. Voilà. Mais ce n'est pas officiel, donc prenez ça avec des pincettes. Sigvald is asking if we have our own guild. He asked in French, so I will answer in French first. Donc Sigvald, oui, nous avons notre propre guilde. C'est une guilde internationale, donc on parle anglais dans cette guilde. Elle est ouverte à tout le monde, si vous avez envie de la joindre. C'est pas une grosse guilde qui organise plein de trucs super cool. Si, en fait, on organise des trucs super cool. On a fait un événement samedi, c'était plutôt sympa. C'est une petite guilde sociale, etc. pour la communauté. Donc, n'hésitez pas à rejoindre, il suffit de nous contacter en jeu. Par contre, si tu recherches une guilde francophone, ce ne sera pas la bonne guilde parce qu'on n'a pratiquement pas de joueurs francophones et on a des joueurs de toutes les nations, donc de commencer à parler en français dans le chat, ce ne sera pas l'idéal. Mais je connais d'autres guildes qui sont vraiment très très chouettes. Il y a notamment une guilde francophone sur le Discord dont je viens de donner un lien. Il y a une guilde pour cette communauté-là également.
I have no idea what Ella just said, but I'm guessing.
It's about our guild, so just answer.
Yeah. So we just started a guild a couple of weeks ago. It's fairly new, but we've got a few members already, and we are hoping to do some events in the future. But it is an international guild, so anybody is welcome. Literally, we don't have any kind of convoluted application processes. As long as you're polite and kind and respectful, you are welcome to join our guild. But it is an international guild. And because of that, we tend to mainly speak English.
There's a new question from Quake89. Do you guys have any information about what the new monster sets may do?
We really don't at this point. We don't really get any insider information, or very rarely. So what we try to do is just compile all the information that is freely available and distribute that to you. As of right now, that is not been made known. So not yet, I'm sorry.
Donc la question était, est-ce que vous avez des informations en ce qui concerne les nouveaux masques de monstres qui sortiront avec le nouveau DLC, et on n'a aucune information à ce sujet. Il y aura évidemment plus d'informations dans le futur, et puis on peut estimer que au mois de juillet, ce nouveau DLC sera sur le serveur de test, et on compte bien aller le tester, donc vous aurez plus d'informations à ce moment-là.
I noticed we missed a question from Repelli. Could you suggest any guides or such for a new player, other than the earlier YouTube website for builds and such? So this is a little bit difficult for us because we're not known for builds. It's not something that we're not the type of people that want to squeeze every ounce of power that we can out of our characters. We're just mainly looking to have fun, and I could make that suggestion to you, and just play what feels fun to you, and don't worry too much about guides or the best builds. And that's certainly a valid route that you can take. But on the other hand, if that is really something that you want to do and you want to be as powerful as you possibly can, there are loads of really good YouTubers. Tianlan was one I suggested earlier that has lots of tips and handy guides for new players, and there are countless others out there.
Miss Biz, for instance.
Yeah, Miss Biz does lots of great tutorials as well. My suggestion would be just really have a look on YouTube or Google even. I know like ESO Academy does guides and that kind of thing as well. Benevolent Bow, do you do like build guides? I'm not sure if you do that, but please feel free to promote yourself if you do.
Okay, Woilo is saying, will you consider creating a page on your website with link to other helpful video and guides?
Absolutely. I mean, I know some websites that make YouTube content and such may not want to promote other people, but that's not what we want to be. We want to bring the community together, and if somebody's making good videos, then we want to recognize that, and we want to draw people's attention to that. There's plenty of room on YouTube and the internet in general for everybody to make good content and not be afraid to promote others. So yeah, if there's enough desire for that, then yeah, absolutely we can do that.
Donc les deux dernières questions qui ont été posées étaient vraiment en rapport avec la communauté plutôt internationale. Quelqu'un qui demandait pour avoir de bons guides, si on recommandait des youtubeurs ou des personnes qui créaient des guides. Et on a donné le nom de Miss Biz et Tianlen qui font de très bons guides pour les joueurs débutants, mais c'est en anglais bien entendu. Et alors, Weolo demandait si on voulait mettre des liens vers ces personnes sur notre site web. On n'a pas encore énormément fait d'efforts sur le site, mais c'est quelque chose qu'on a envie de faire, de promouvoir la communauté en général. Donc ici, il s'agit plutôt de la communauté internationale. En ce qui concerne la communauté francophone, je conseille de regarder Désastre. Il fait de très bons guides pour les débutants. Et vous avez Santo... Je ne me souviens plus de son nom en entier, mais Santo, il fait aussi de bons guides pour les débutants. Il a commencé récemment, c'est un streamer principalement, mais il a commencé à faire des vidéos sur YouTube. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. So, Sigvald, okay, then my girlfriend and I are new on ESO. There is something to do? No, you don't need to do anything. What we would recommend, though, because we want this to be a social community where we can chat and talk to each other. So what I'd suggest is if you join our Discord, which I've just put in the Twitch chat, and if you go in the ESO guild chat there and just ask for an invite, and we'll fire you on. Simple as that.
Voilà, donc si vous avez envie d'entrer dans notre guild en ayant bien conscience que c'est une guilde internationale, il n'y a pas besoin de faire une application, de montrer votre CV. Il suffit juste d'être gentil, poli, aimable, respectueux. Et il suffit de suivre le lien sur Discord. Et à ce moment-là, vous êtes libre de joindre notre petite guilde. Voilà.
We are out of questions.
Yeah, we are out of questions. So it's going to be the time to, start our discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Si on n'a plus de questions, ce sera le moment de commencer la discussion. On va juste laisser un petit moment au cas où il y a quelqu'un qui a envie de poser une question.
So what we did, the discussion is basically we pick a couple of topics from the last 2 weeks that we kind of feel need a bit more discussion. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about really was crown crates, and how we feel about them, where we stand on them. We have had a long discussion about this in the past, and we were...
Nikki, sorry to interrupt yourself, but if you are starting the discussion right now, I need to say goodbye to the French speaker that doesn't want to continue in English.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
No problem. Donc voilà, chers amis, la partie anglais francophone va s'arrêter ici. Donc si vous n'avez pas du tout envie de suivre une conversation en anglais, eh bien voilà, merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé jusqu'ici. J'espère que vous vous porterez bien, que vous avez apprécié, que vous aimez bien. N'hésitez pas à donner vos commentaires et donner votre retour par rapport aux petits changements qu'il y a eu dans cet épisode. Et si vous avez envie de voir plus de ces épisodes en live, on compte les faire toutes les 2 semaines. Donc si ça vous plaît, n'hésitez pas à en parler autour de vous et à donner votre retour. Voilà, donc c'est tout pour la partie francophone. Merci beaucoup et ne vous inquiétez pas, je projette de faire des vidéos uniquement en français. J'ai plusieurs projets. Il y en a un qui est halté par des problèmes techniques, mais l'autre, vous devriez avoir une vidéo bientôt et ce sera que pour vous. Donc voilà, sinon il y a aussi les traductions de vidéos qu'on fait en anglais et en français, mais ça prendra un petit peu plus de temps. On en a quelques-unes en préparation. Voilà, donc c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. À bientôt. Prenez soin de vous.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so nice.
Yeah, so crown crates. So we've made it pretty clear in the past that we don't really like them because it's gambling, and I don't want to get too much into that now because we have covered it a lot in other streams and videos.
So we're totally not purchasing them at all.
Nope. So yeah, so I guess I was kind of to blame. I think it was, what day was it? Like Thursday or something. LOA was at the store. I was kind of bored, and I ended up buying 4 crown crates. I thought 1,500 crowns, that's fine, I'll buy 4. And I got super lucky. Now, my second crate had 2 mounts, pets. I ended up with this dwarven mount, the striped wolf, a bunch of mementos, pets, and costumes and stuff. So I really had my my crown's worth, if you like. And this kind of prompted Eloa to also purchase them. But so there seems to be some big changes with this Crown Crate season. There's nothing that's been confirmed by ZeniMax, but there's the introduction of the hidden rewards, the hidden mounts, if you like. There's motifs now included. There's the RNG chance seems greatly improved as well, because I bought 4 crates and got a mount. Eloa bought 4 crates and got a mount. Our friend Nenny bought 4 crates and got 2 Apex mounts.
Mm-hmm. Including the super rare one.
Including one of the super rare ones, the adamantine dwarven horse. So it really feels like they've improved the drop rate, but that's nothing that's been confirmed. It's kind of speculation on our part. But yeah.
What I think they have done is that because a lot of players were kind of disappointed about the fact that they had to buy like 40 crates and didn't get a mount, like a certain person of my knowledge on the last season. And because of that, I think they have increased the possibility, the drop rate of every month, but they still wanted to have something really special, so they added those very, very special months that you can only have in the Crown Crate. You cannot exchange for gem. In addition, as they have increased the variety of items, you have less chance to get twice the same, so you have less double items, so you have less gem, and so it's on one way you earn more, and on another hand, if you are really a collector, you will still need to purchase tons of crates. So I'm not really sure how you can consider it. A lot of people are saying that it's very bad, but in a way I think it's more pleasant, because you're almost guaranteed to have something. So I was really not sorry.
No, not at all. I just wanted to comment on your thing saying you're more likely to get something different each time. And I agree with you, but that said, I am seeing lots of posts on the forums about people complaining about getting 5 or 6 mix hounds. And that's, I don't know if there's just something weird or it's just a very unlucky coincidence. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, they don't obviously. I think it's a good thing if they've increased the RNG chance, because it doesn't cost them anything for more people to have these mounts. And if there's a higher chance of winning them, more people will buy them. They'll be less pissed off. It just makes good business sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, if you are a collectioner, you will still want to purchase a lot of crown to have everything. So it gives more chance for small players to get what they want, and ZeniMax can still make money about the whale, as we say them. But in a way, it's still playing around on the very weak point of human, and I still don't like the system. Even if I have enjoyed it, even if I got it, I still think it's wrong to do gambling for real life money in a game.
I agree with you. Gambling is bad, and this is essentially what crown crates are. But at the same time, we're also weak in fallible humans, and we fell prey to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could say you're too super hypocrite. You don't like crown crate and you're pushing them. But it was just 4. I was really not expecting to have a wolf. I just wanted to have the goggle or the monocle, which I got. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm hypocrite, because I still continue to maintain that I disagree with the system, but while as it's there, I will rather enjoy it, and I don't really want to do politics when playing games, so I just go for what I want, you know.
I'm seeing an awful lot of French sentences with my name in.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Bonsoir, Dark Petit Chat. Oh, Dark Petit Chat, like my cat. So
yeah, crown crates. Let us especially if you're watching this on YouTube. I mean, let us know now, of course, but kind of where do you stand on them? How do you feel about them? Did you buy any? Did you get any cool rewards? Because it really feels like the drop rate has increased, but we don't actually know if it has.
Yeah, there's still some people that has purchased a lot of credit and has been unlucky. If you remember,
Ajax bought 15 just a couple of days ago and got nothing. I saw somebody in the stream, he was in French, but I think they said they bought 30 and got nothing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a guaranteed thing by any means.
Now, another subject we wanted to talk about was the battleground queue and the problem that it has. So we're not big PvP players. We have not really tried so much to use the queue, but when Nikki was still in Florida, it's something I wanted to do to play because yes, I was without him, so I wanted to play Battleground, and it was impossible to do a single queue. I never managed to get in, and I have been super patient. And I know that for someone like me, it's not so much a problem because I'm not a PvPer. I'm not playing the Elder Scrolls Online to be the best in Battleground, so I don't really care. Yeah, okay, I was a bit disappointed at that time, but it was not something bad for me. But for the people that really, 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 really were waiting for this, they must have been so pissed off. If there's one thing you cannot mess up at the release of a game, it's the matchmaker. Especially for Battlegrounds, there's no way to do them otherwise. Dungeon, you can still organize yourself, but not Battlegrounds. It's not possible. So if the system is messed up, it's very damageable for the game. So I'm not mad at ZeniMax because I think if they had messed up that, it's really for a technical problem because it was working on PTS. But it is so... It's such a bad thing.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because I took a break in ESO, as you know, until last year, and prior to that, prior to one Tamriel, I don't remember the group finders, the dungeon group finder, ever being problematic. It just worked, and it seems like since one Tamriel, it's got steadily less reliable. And I mean, I remember just even a few months ago when we were trying to do some dungeons, and we had to travel to them all manually because it wasn't porting us there. And I mean, that happened. We were playing on our community stream. We were playing, doing dungeon runs with Rich Lambert, and it wasn't working. We had to port them manually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I understand technical problems happen. And I understand to some degree what they're saying is, you fix one technical problem and you find another one underlying, that you didn't see before. And, I understand that. And, I work in IT. I sympathize with that. But at the same time, they seem kind of reluctant to fix things.
What
I'm trying to say is, if they release Morrowind and the dungeon finder or the battlegrounds finder, whatever you want to call it, the group matchmaker is broken. Battlegrounds was a big selling point for all of those players who only play ESO for PvP, and there's a lot of them. That was a big selling point for them. And if a major part of the game is not working upon release, then the server, it should be taken down instantly and patched there and then. Once they fixed it, of course, but they don't. They wait. Oh, we'll wait till the next incremental patch update, and then that doesn't solve the problem. And they're like, okay, we'll wait till the next one. You know what I mean? Something as significant as that should be dealt with quicker.
As I say, Woilo, and I think it's a good point. They said some time ago that the group finder needs a complete rewrite, and I really think so because it has got so much problem. I think the code at the base was worked wrong or made badly, or I don't know how they did. I'm not a coder, but there was something wrong since the very, very beginning, and they had just put Band-Aid on it all the time. So. Yeah.
Then, I wasn't aware of that Weolo just said, that they've acknowledged that it's broken and it just needs to be started from fresh. that concerns me a little bit more, to be honest with you. If they know that something is never really going to work properly and it's always going to be unreliable, what are they waiting for? Like, it's a significant part of the game, not just for battlegrounds, dungeon finders, where, in a game that doesn't really have a great deal of end game content, and, dungeons are, 70% of that supposed end game content. That's something that needs to be focused on before they introduce new motifs and costumes and crown store items. I don't understand, and it's not just ZeniMax who's guilty of this. I don't understand companies that work harder. For me, it's more important that they keep their existing customer base than try to get new customers and new streams of income. I don't know. It just seems like the priorities aren't always where they should be.
Someone said the difference that we paid for it, Battleground should never be bugged in the first place. Yeah, it's very true. The problem is that when it happened, and yeah, it's just it's very sad. I know one game that has been ruined, and they had to stop the game because of the problem with the matchmaker at release, and it was Evolve, which was a very, very nice concept for a PvP game. It was a kind of shooter game. It's very original and different, and it was working well except the matchmaker, and that broke the game. And some games like Blizzard is always delaying the release of their game because they always release a finished product almost bugless, which is not the case. Of course, they do mistake as well, but in general they are very, very polished, and their systems like the matchmaker, it's always smooth and you rarely have problems with it.
Yeah, I don't get frustrated that they have technical issues, because that happens. It just it's one of those things when you've got a game as big as this that has so many variables. I understand that. I just think they need to prioritize how they fix those problems differently. As in, I don't think they're a huge priority at the moment. But yeah.
Yeah, Quake is saying, do they have enough staff to work on this while also working on future DLCs? They seem really short-staffed. Yeah, I think they have a small team. And that's for sure. And not everyone is capable of doing everything, I guess. But I believe the problem was really that the code originally had been messy. The thing is that for the Elder Scrolls Online, and it has been a real problem with the development of this game, is that they have changed the team at some point. And you have some developers that have gone, either they have been fired or they live by themselves. I have no idea, but that means that it's not the same person working on the same thing. So you have basically someone that has coded stuff, and then you have another programmer that needs to understand what this guy had done before him and try to build up from that. And I'm not an informatician, but I guess it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, Ramak brought up a point about algorithms. There aren't any really, because this game is auto-leveling. It doesn't match you on any level. About the only algorithm that they need is to make sure that they have a healer, a tank, and DPS. That's the only calculation that needs to be carried out in this group finder. It's not like it's matching X skill player to X skill or X level to X level. It doesn't do any of that. It just finds 2 DPS, 1 healer, and 1 tank and sticks them in a group. That's its only job. So it's not like it's even that complicated. Like, I'm not saying I could do it, but I mean, it's not like a sophisticated group finder.
Yeah. It's a beautiful sunset. Shall we stop the ESO news episode here and start a regular stream?
Yes, it sounds good.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much to have watched this episode. Thank you for your company. It was great to see the chat so active, and I hope you liked the little change that has been made. It was a little bit messy at start because I had to work on so many things at the same time. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Do not hesitate to give your feedback.
Yes, and hopefully you found it a lot more concise and interesting. And yeah, well, please, if you catch this video on YouTube, leave us some feedback. We'd appreciate it.
And thank you, Rupili. That's a so awesome way to finish this episode. Thank you so very much. Yay! Some cheers. Bye bye, guys. See you next time.